In this video, I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys 3 pieces of advice I wish my father had given me in regards to life. Now, before we go ahead and we dive into it, I just want to go ahead and preface this video and just quickly say that I am very fortunate that my father is still in my life. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is because he hasn't been around for a majority of it due to him constantly working. Even up until me recording this video, and probably for the rest of my life until he retires or until I retire him. And so with that, growing up, I've hardly, if I'm lucky, see him twice, maybe 3 times out of the week, and especially on holidays, because he's, doing what a man needs to do and provide for himself and his family, and I can't blame him for that. But had he been around more often, I wish he told me these 3 things. So without further ado, I wanted to go ahead and dive into the video. So the first thing I wish he had told me is, son, as a man, you need to learn to lead your own life. And now, the reason why I'm saying this is because up until about 23 and a half, 24, I was constantly trying to follow other paths that were set out for me by my parents, by my teachers, by my friends, by my peers, etc. And up until that point, I did not know who I was and who I ultimately wanted to become one day in my life. And I think it is very, very important as a man, if you're watching this, to learn to become somebody that you want to be and to learn to lead your own life. Because at the end of all this, bro, nobody is going to have to live with the decisions and the results of those decisions that happen in your life except for you. And so I highly encourage you, if you haven't already, learn to start leading yourself in your own life. And you doing that is eventually going to come into play and help you when it comes time for you to go out there and start dating, and for you to potentially find a woman that you want to settle down with one day and have kids. So yeah, that is the first thing that I wish he had told me. The second thing that I wish my father had told me, and this is something that I still have a hard time with to this day, but I've definitely been a lot better about it now, and I've honestly learned to come to accept it, is I wish he had told me that you are only going to be loved as much as you are useful. Or in other words, you are never ever as a man going to be loved unconditionally by anybody except maybe your mother and your grandma and maybe some family. But for the most part, other than that, you are never ever going to be loved unconditionally. And this is something that I've really started to notice in these recent years, especially with me really trying to work on myself and am trying to, like I said in the first lesson, try to lead myself in my own life. And just, on the day-to-day when I deal with people, whether it's my relatives, my friends, my peers, or even the woman that I'm dating, I notice most of the time, or pretty much all the fucking time, people have only showed me love whenever I did favors for them, or whenever I did something for them, or whenever I was useful or beneficial to them. And early on, when I realized that, it made me angry and resentful towards people. But then once I heard a saying by Chris Rock, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, where basically he said that only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally, and a man is only loved under the condition that he provides something. That's when it clicked for me, and that's when I started to accept. I'm like, you know what, bro? There is never ever going to come a day where my parents, my friends, my future wife, my kids will ever love me unconditionally. They're only going to love me as much as I am useful and as much as the value that I provide. And I'm sure every family man watching this, or dude that has gotten their heart broken, basically any man watching this where they have people relying on them, I'm sure you guys can vouch for this and say that that is the fucking case when it comes to every single man on this planet. And I mean, I look at my father, for example, and as much as it hurts me to say, I even notice it in our own family and even with myself sometimes, where the only time I ever show him love, or sometimes the only time I ever speak to him, is when he's either done something for me or when I need a favor for him. And that is something that I am trying to actively fix, because I don't want that to be the fucking case for him, and I'd much rather that be the case for myself. So yeah, that is something I wish. Fuck, dude. I might cry in this video. But that is something that I wish he had told me when I was a lot younger, because it would have saved me a lot of energy that I expended being frustrated, and it would have saved me a lot of emotional stress. I'm trying not to cry. Okay, alright. I'm gonna leave this all in here. I don't give a fuck. But the third and final thing that I wish my father had told me, and this is actually something he did tell me, but I'm gonna include it in this video because I genuinely think a lot of men need this reminder, especially a lot of you guys out there that are grinding and are workhorses and are just only focused on trying to get yourself to where you want to go. But I wish, even though he told me this, he said, son, obviously work hard, but don't forget to play harder. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I remember shortly before, this was a few years ago, I turned 25. I had asked him one day, we were out in the backyard and I was helping him with his garden, because my dad, one of his hobbies is he loves plants. So he loves, planting plants and dealing with plants, and he knows a lot of things about them. But we took a break and I had asked him before I turned 25, because I knew that was a pivotal age for me. What is one thing, if you could go back in time and tell your 25-year-old self now that you're, at that time he was, I think, 57, now that you're, lived the life that you have? And he straight up told me, and he's like, I wish I hadn't worked so much, and I wish I'd spent more time doing stuff and living life and doing crazy shit with my friends. Because after he had told me that, he was sharing stories about how sometimes after he got off his shifts at the job he was working at the time, that him and a couple buddies would literally, same night, they would pack all their fishing gear, because my dad loved fishing when he was in his 20s and 30s, and they would literally drive overnight to, I think, somewhere in Oregon, because I think he lived in Oregon at the time, and they would go fishing and have a campfire and basically camp during the weekend and just do crazy shit right after he got off his shifts. And he told me that he wished he did more of that, because obviously with him moving away now and him having a family and kids and having to focus on provide for his family now, he doesn't have as much time to do those things. And so he told me, he's like, if you don't have that many obligations, yes, son, you should work hard and you should work your fucking ass off, but don't be afraid to go out and fucking live a little, because this life goes fucking fast. And so I wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys watching this, because I know there are a lot of you guys out there like myself that are young, hungry individuals that are looking to break generational curses in their family and are constantly obsessed with their future and trying to get themselves to where they want to go, and they want to make all this money and they want to retire their parents, this and that. But on your road on that journey, bro, don't forget to live along the way. Because like a lot of successful people say, it's not about the destination, but rather the journey. And so if you're already on that journey, you might as well have some fun along the way and go on a couple of side quests to add to that story. But that's all the advice that I wish my father had shared with me had he had more time during my adolescence and my early development, and had he been around, that I wish he would share with me. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you guys make a change after watching this video, because I know for myself, the last couple of years, I've definitely been making some changes. And like I said, had he been around more and shared this piece of advice with me, I honestly think my life with where I'm at right now would have been totally different, and honestly, maybe even in a better way. But I'll never know. If you guys enjoyed this video or you found some value out of it, be sure to go and smash the like button for your boy. Drop a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, because we're on the road to 2K. And last but not least, turn on my post notifications bell so you never miss out on any of my future video uploads. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and thank you guys for the continuous love and support. I promise you, we're going to the fucking top of the fucking top. I don't know what the fuck this channel is going to become. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm not going to stop fucking working, okay? I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace.